She bows as low as she can, her posture heavy with everything she is carrying. All the shame she feels as a guardian, her pride as a protector, and all the grief that comes with the job. It is a sincere plea from one human to another. Seeing that level of heart, a small, warm smile plays on my lips. I look her straight in the eyes. If I am going to act, I need my back covered. Ciola is home. Can you stay with her until I get back? At my feet, my chunky black fluff ball lets out a sharp bark. I nod, trusting him with the mission. I am putting this on you, Blackie. Go get them. Woof! The scene shifts to a lonely, sketchy alleyway. Blackie is face down, sniffing the pavement while I play detective. According to the info from Ma Li Min Dung, this was the last dungeon Kim Ji-jun hit. It is called the Dragon Gut Dungeon, and it is bad news. This place was cleared out exactly 3 days ago. My brain is running numbers on his next move. After the raid, he hit the booze with his squad. The last place anyone saw him was some dive bar. If we are going to track him by scent, starting at the bars makes total sense to me. My eyes scan the area, but I am doubting myself. Even if his scent is still hanging around, it has got to be super faint by now. Almost gone. Here is the real reason I am here. As Blackie digs around, this crazy giant phantom beast starts flickering right above his head. I am betting Blackie's power is way more than just a good nose. That is how he tracked me down at SH Hospital back then. It is the same deal here. Maybe it is leftover power or some kind of mana wave. I am not totally sure. But my magic dog keeps circling, nose twitching at every single corner. If my hunch is right, the tracks in this dungeon will be way stronger than anything we would find at a bar. Suddenly, my boy Blackie freezes. His ears perk up like he has just dialed into a satellite. He spins around to look at me and lets out a sharp bark. That is it. Target locked and loaded. Woof, no time to waste. I am right behind my furry scout, eyes locked on the prize. Hey, I pay 60 million a month to feed this dog, so he had better start earning his keep. The scene cuts to a dark basement. Blood-curdling screams echo through the air, mixed with the bone-chilling roar of a chainsaw slicing through flesh. A pool of deep red blood is spreading across the floor. This psycho-scientist, Jove Cheon, stands over a severed arm, clutching his blood-stained chainsaw with a twisted, freakish grin. Jizun is covered in bleeding wounds, barely whispering in his painful, feverish nightmare. How much longer? How much more of this pain can I take? Will this ever stop, or is this just my life now? My eyes are starting to close. My will to live is slipping away. I am at my breaking point. If I just close my eyes, I will be free from this hell. But that creep starts freaking out, screaming at me to stay awake. Don't you die yet. He leans in with a sick threat. If you die, I am coming for your sister next. Imagine what I will do to her. The second he mentions her, Zijun's bloody body starts shaking like crazy. He struggles to sit up, trying to protect the one thing he has left. My sister. She is my only family. Don't you dare lay a finger on her. The doctor just shrugs, wearing a demonic grin. Look, if you die, I won't have any other options, will I? Since you two share the same blood, she has probably got the same gifts as you, right? Gijin hangs his head, sounding totally broken while trying to save her. My sister has no powers, none at all. The mad doctor bursts into a wicked laugh, showing off those needle-sharp teeth. You never really know for sure until you put it to the test. Even though his body is trashed, Gijun's eyes are burning with a fierce fire. I have to endure. I cannot let him touch her. Suddenly, a lethal strike comes out of the shadows, tearing through the dark. In this damp hole, Zizun's mind starts to drift. How long have I been here? He blinks his bloody eyes, clinging to his last bit of consciousness. No. If I die here, what happens to her? I have to protect my sister. I have to keep her safe, no matter what it takes. Suddenly, the basement ceiling explodes. Massive chunks of concrete and stone come crashing down right where he is tied up. Through the thick clouds of dust and debris, the sound of heavy, steady footsteps comes closer to the dying boy. Siu shows up looking like a literal god. He stares straight at Kim Zizun. Hey Kim, your sister is back home, worried sick about you. But when I get a closer look, my heart drops. This is brutal. He is in really, really bad shape. This isn't good at all. Looking at the chains and all that blood, I am thinking his power level has to be way beyond those other high rankers. But these injuries? They are past any limit. I am breaking into a cold sweat. His body is one thing, but his mind, it might be totally shattered. Suddenly, a tiny, weak voice makes me jump. Sister! He is still holding on. Sister! A spark of hope hits me. My hands move fast, pulling out my acupuncture needles. It is not too late. We still have a shot at this. I slam the needles into his pressure points with perfect aim, dumping all my energy into him. Hang in there, Kim Ji-jun. Do it for your sister. The magic of my healing arts kicks in, and his eyes flutter as a green glow starts to spread. The kid barely opens his eyes, using every last bit of breath he has to ask about the person he loves most. My sister. I watch the green light wrap around him, fixing everything. I finally breathe. Is your sister okay? Yeah, she is fine. He is finally starting to bounce back. That crazy doctor crawls out from under the rubble, screaming his lungs out. You! Who the hell are you? A few more rocks smack him right in the head. He glares at me, eyes bulging with pure rage. How did you find this place? He is bleeding everywhere, but he doesn't even care. He just growls like a sick animal. This is my private space. Mine. Then he grabs his messy hair, eyes rolling back, acting like a beast that just lost its territory. It is mine. All mine. 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 Only mine. Dust and pebbles rain down on the blood-soaked floor right at my feet. I am scowling, but then my eyes go wide. My blood starts to run cold as I realize what I am actually looking at. It is horrifying. It is a straight-up scene from hell. I am frozen. There are bodies of all shapes and sizes everywhere. Kim Ji-jun's parts are just tossed in with a bunch of other victims. It is a nightmare. My face goes dark. I am radiating pure killer intent because I cannot wrap my head around this cruelty. A human did this? How? My eyes are glowing green like the Grim Reaper. I roar at him. Why? Why would you do this? All I get back is a crazed howl. He is foaming at the mouth, screaming. I asked who the hell you are. Suddenly, he hangs his head in the thick, metallic air of this bloodbath. He growls out a single word. You. That psycho starts closing in, laughing like a maniac and muttering over and over. You are not normal, are you? I stand in front of Gi-jun like a brick wall while that freak just keeps screaming. You are different. I know it. You are definitely not a normal person. From behind him, Gi-jun wheezed with his last breath, telling him to just run. Get out of here, now. Ignoring the plea, the mad scientist kept up his crazy rambling amidst the piles of gross meat, telling him he was anything but normal. Being a total freak means you've got some insane, mind-blowing powers hidden away. He cackled, eyes rolling back in total madness. Am I right? I know I'm right. I'm definitely right. Siu stared at the massive beast stitched together from 1,000 screaming corpses. While the doc smugly grinned, he wondered what kind of weird tricks the kid actually had up his sleeve. What kind of science project are you gonna be? Turns out, this whole evil mess started with one simple trait, the power to graft and merge stuff together. It was a power for farmers, honestly. But the guy who had it absolutely hated himself because it felt so weak. With his mind twisted and broken, he ended up doing something totally messed up that he never should have tried. He didn't just stop at stitching together the powers of different heroes and monster skills into one single terrifying body. He wanted way more. He even performed a bunch of sick, inhuman experiments on his own flesh. Back in the now, facing that gross giant beast, he asked that savage question again. So, what happens now? What kind of lab rat are you going to turn into? Gi-jun, looking pale and totally hopeless, kept begging him to just get out of there while he still could. Before he could even finish, a whole swarm of nasty, slimy tentacles shot straight toward Siu. Facing that lethal wave, Siu suddenly glowed with a bright blue aura and just muttered one thing. That is seriously gross. He threw a light punch, and a massive wave of energy exploded around him, blasting those filthy attacks away. Gi-jun's eyes nearly popped out of his head as he stuttered in total disbelief. Wait, what just happened? How is that even possible? Under that insane pressure, chunks of the monster's gross body were ripped apart, falling all over the bloody floor like scrap meat. But wait, those shredded meat chunks started squirming, reaching out with bloody veins to stitch themselves back together right away. Siu watched closely, thinking, is that regeneration? No, that is definitely something way weirder than just healing. The doctor, with half his face stitching itself back together, stood there drooling and totally stunned. He gasped out, what the hell even are you? You are going to be my favorite lab rat, the beast roared. You've got crazy strength, sure, but you are still just a puny human. That gross head with way too many eyeballs screamed at him. See, I am different. I have evolved beyond any human. A massive punch ripped through the air as he made his crazy claim. A weak little human like you could never even dream of touching me. That giant fist was inches from his head, but Siu didn't even flinch. He just stood there, eyes steady. Gi-jun was losing his mind, screaming his lungs out for him to move. Get out of the way! But the doc was already grinning, celebrating way too early. He yelled, "Too late!" A massive, earth-shaking blast went off, sending bricks flying everywhere and burying the whole place in a thick cloud of dust. The shockwave blew everything back, forcing Gijun to squeeze his eyes shut. When the dust finally cleared, it revealed a scene that was absolutely mind-blowing. Siu used just one hand, glowing with that blue aura, to catch that massive fist. The bad guy started stuttering. "No way. That's impossible." Cold sweat poured down his pale face. "How did you stop that?" "This is the raw power I grafted from the ogre R. Ikoma." The monster stared in total shock, screaming because he couldn't handle the truth. This should be impossible, but our guy just gave his hand a little flick, letting that energy surge. Siu absolutely shattered the monster's arm, sending it flying back and making the beast howl in pure agony. Like a lightning bolt, Siu shot into the air, trailed by a brilliant blue flame. He stayed right on top of the panicked monster. How? How is any of this happening? He slammed a heavy palm strike right into the beast's chest, cutting off the doctor's rambling. Who? Who the hell are you? Down on the ground, Gijun was frozen, watching that godlike power. My god, how is he even taking down a monster like that? No, the monster was the one in trouble. Hundreds of blue glowing punches rained down on its massive body with the speed of light. It was a total beatdown. Huge chunks of meat exploded, hitting the floor and melting into thick puddles of blood. The doctor's voice was barely a wheeze now as he choked out, "No, this can't be." After that cold and brutal beatdown, he was just a pathetic, messy pile lying at Siu's feet. The monster screamed in total rage. How can a tiny little human be this strong? How could any mere person be this powerful? Standing tall inside that majestic blue fire, Siu just coldly listened to the last hateful words of the guy he just absolutely destroyed. "You were just born with all this talent, weren't you?" "Yeah, you had this power from day one. People like you make me sick. I hate you so much that I just want to rip you apart." Siu's face stayed ice cold, looking down with total contempt. He spoke in a low, deep voice. "Powerful jerks like you always act the exact same way. They always act like they are standing on top of the whole world. That's why a brilliant blue aura flared up like a fire, surrounding him completely." Siu's voice turned freezing. "Is that why you did all this disgusting, trashy stuff? Just because you wanted to be stronger?" The gross monster writhed on the floor, its slimy tentacles thrashing around wildly as it screamed in pure hatred. "What do you even know? You have no idea what it feels like to be that miserable, having to beg for every little thing just because you were born weak." He kept yelling garbage in the hero's ear. "Do you even know how people like us actually have to live? Since you were born strong, you will never understand. You couldn't even imagine how pathetic and miserable our lives actually are." Even with the monster shrieking, Siu just stood there calmly in the blue flames. He smirked and spoke clearly. "There are people born with talent, and those born with insane, overwhelming strength from the very start. But whether it's raw talent or power, you didn't actually earn it yourself through any kind of real hard work or effort." All the twisted faces on the monster's body gaped, howling like a pack of hungry demons. "It was just handed to you because you were lucky enough to be born. And then you have the nerve to tell us we're weak because we didn't try hard enough." Its jagged fangs bared as it growled, aiming all its rage right at Siu. "Jerks like you are a total eyesore, and I hate looking at you." Suddenly, a swarm of black, bloody tentacles shot out like a storm straight at the boss. "So, I am gonna kill every last one of you." Instead of backing away, Siu took a bold step forward, his boot sinking into the bloody ground. "Me too." Siu put a hand to his head and spoke clearly. "I actually used to think the exact same way you do right now." The scene faded away, and a flashback took Siu back to a talk he had with the spirit of the god of strength. He asked, "What was on your mind while doing those 12 labors?" Images of the hero fighting the Nemean lion and stealing the golden apple flashed through his head. Siu was curious. Hercules had to crush those 12 labors before he finally became the legendary hero everyone knows today. Hercules looked down, his eyes filling with a deep, dark sadness as he remembered his painful past. "Back then, I actually planned to end my own life." Siu froze. He couldn't believe what he was hearing from the literal god of strength. Was he joking? "Back then, madness swallowed me whole, and I ended up taking the lives of my own family. The guilt was so heavy that every single day felt like living in hell. I felt like there was just no point in going on anymore." The hero Hercules suddenly appears, snatching the noose from Hecnuin's hands. He looks him in the eye and asks, "What is the actual point of seeking penance by taking your own life?" "It makes zero sense, man. Look, these trials I took on, they were not about some massive ego or ambition. It was all for penance. Picture Hercules straining to hold up a pitch-black sky, sweat pouring off him. It was literal hell on earth. I almost bit the dust a few times. Honestly, I thought I was cooked. Every single day, I wanted to quit. Hearing this wild story, Siu starts sweating buckets. He thinks to himself, that is insane, right? I always saw Hercules as this untouchable god who could just breeze through any challenge or hardship without even trying. Hercules just crosses his arms with a proud, enlightened smirk. Of course the result matters. But if you are asking if the result is the only thing that counts, my answer is no. Siu taps his phone, the screen lighting up with his crazy, god-tier superpower skills as he preps for battle. Hercules' voice keeps echoing. I think the process how you get there is what actually matters. His divine eyes flare with pure determination. People say I finished those 12 labors because I am Hercules, like I was just born great. But that is not how it works. Suddenly, we see Hercules looking like a modern, jacked-up alpha male powerhouse. He smiles wide and drops a truth bomb. Nobody is born great. There are only great challenges that make you that way. He sits down next to Siu, totally chill, and explains that greatness and success are way less complicated than you think. Sure, life gets messy. There are definitely situations that feel impossible and totally out of your control. Siu hangs on every word, finally getting it. Greatness and success are not about beating those impossible odds. It actually just comes down to one simple thing, one single factor. Why do you need to win? What is your personal reason? The legendary hero winks and grins at his student. Even if your reason sounds childish or totally stupid, it does not even matter. Just remember this, when you want to achieve something big, do not focus on the 10,000 reasons why you cannot do it. That is just noise. Hercules gives a big thumbs up, beaming in the sunlight. It is all about that one reason why the person doing it has to be you. That one reason will carry you exactly where you want to go, just like it brought me here. That is the real meaning of being great. The flashback ends and Siu is back in the real world, eyes sharp as a knife while staring at the monster. Time to finish this. Power and weakness are about more than just your DNA. Stop obsessing over the immediate results. You are just making excuses for yourself. Right then, a massive black hole starts ripping open in the middle of the beast. He bites his lip and takes a deep breath, ready to take out this literal trash once and for all. The spirits of 3 guardian gods blaze to life behind him. Siu announces an insane, one-of-a-kind combo move, the heart of a true gentleman. Zhang Sanfeng's Tai Chi, the god-tier strength of Hercules, and the perfect harmony of the spirit. A massive surge of blue energy forms a protective shield around them both, blocking out the dark, evil energy of the enemy. Siu's eyes turn into laser beams, glowing with a deadly blue light as he triggers his ultimate skill, Hercules, martial arts. He clenches his fist, focusing every bit of power into one point. Second move, boom, a massive pillar of light shaped like a giant fist comes crashing down from the heavens, turning everything in its path to literal dust. Hercules god-tier martial arts. Second move, heaven-destroying punch. The energy explosion is so violent it literally warps the air around them. When the dust settles, Siu is standing tall among the rubble, blue sparks still crackling around his body. The air is thick with smoke as the basement ruins start to clear, finally letting a little bit of outside light peek through. The kid, Gijun, is shaking like a leaf. He is covered in blood and staring around like he has no clue what happened. Everything just went white for a second. What the? Back to Siu, his arm is twitching like crazy from the recoil. He grits his teeth, thinking, man, this pain is no joke. He is sweating buckets, questioning his life choices. He really did not want to use that Hercules skill because the physical toll on his body is absolutely brutal. But that villain would not shut up, yapping about how Siu knows nothing. Like, you have no idea what it is like to be miserable and have to beg for your life just because you are weak. He looks at his smoking hand and gives a cocky little smirk. Hey, at least it worked, right? Normally, I would have passed out by now. He walks over to the red-haired kid tied to the chair and asks, hey, can you move? Gijun blinks in total shock before answering his savior. What? Oh yeah, I think my body has actually recovered a little bit now. The kid looks down at the heavy gray chains wrapped around his shoulders and sighs. But I cannot move because of these. He warns you that this gear is serious trouble. He said even S-rank hunters cannot break these chains. Siu does not even blink. He just reaches out for the metal links while Gijun goes pale, begging him to stop. Seriously, man, you cannot break those. It is physically impossible, you know? Snap! The chains shatter into a million pieces. Siu just dusts off his sleeves like it is nothing. You good to move now, kid? Wait, what? Yeah. He just escaped death by an inch, but his brain is still lagging. Jijun gives a shaky laugh and looks up at Siu. Sorry, but who even are you? Siu's mouth twitches. Like, really? You are asking that now? He puts on a bright, casual smile. I am a friend of your sister. Gijun's eyes narrow instantly. My sister's friend? Wait, are you her boyfriend or something? Siu rolls his eyes. Totally done. I am just a guy friend. Gijun keeps pressing him, making Siu sigh. Why would I lie? Suddenly, Gijun remembers what actually matters. He panics, eyes wide, and asks, Wait, is my sister okay? Nothing bad happened to her, right? Siu sighs and furrows his brow. She is actually not doing great. What? Seeing the kid turn pale, Siu finally finishes. She has been worried sick all day. Gijun lets out a massive sigh of relief. Siu shows him his shaking hand with a tired smile. Hey, do you mind hearing the rest from her? I am kind of running on empty. I might look fine, but I do not even have the energy to talk. My regeneration stats are trash compared to some people. You know what I mean? Gijun looks away, feeling a mix of major guilt and massive gratitude for the help. The beat-up teenager struggles to stand up straight. He gives a deep 90-degree bow. Thank you so much for saving my life. A warm, relieved smile spreads across Siu's face, clearing the heavy tension in the dungeon. He turns to leave, dropping one simple line, let's go home. But the nightmare was far from over. A bit later, two suits stepped into the smoking ruins of that basement, standing dead silent as they scanned the absolute wreckage of the battlefield. The lead guy looked up, his eyes glowing with a deadly purple light. With veins popping out of his face, he growled, So what happened to Dr. Jajian? That man was none other than the CEO of the Pandemonium organization, Oh Jugun. His subordinate, looking pale as a ghost, reported, Sir, I think he is dead. We cannot even find a single trace of his body. Oh, Jugun frowned, clearly stressed. You mean to tell me even that entire dimension was wiped out? And what about the research data? The lackey stuttered out an answer. We tried our best to recover it, but all the critical files have completely vanished. Images of Dr. Den Jofchian flashed through Jugun's mind with regret. The plan to mass-produce human weapons by combining the traits of awakened ones, the plan to create monsters by splicing genes the Project Pandemonium poured years into. Jugun's eyes turned blood red as he let out a furious roar. Everything we built was flushed down the drain in a single night. They searched every dark corner of that ruined basement, but there was not a single trace of any sword attacks to be found. Jugun's eyes flashed red as he muttered, It was not Baek Seon-ji, so which punk did this? As his nervous subordinate asked for orders, the boss turned to walk into the shadows, barking a command, Find him. His face twisted with pure hatred while his eyes glowed with a deadly shade of purple. We have to find the jerk who did this, no matter what. Suddenly, the scene shifts to Siu's confused face. Wait, so she already knew everything? The red-haired inspector, Lee Minjong, explained seriously. I think she knows you are working as a hunter. She is even aware of that YouTube channel you are running. Siu started sweating bullets, but Minjong quickly calmed him down. I did not go into the details. They stood talking on a quiet street under the lamplight. Minjong continued, but I did hint that you were indirectly involved in this mess. I felt like I needed to explain to her that even though an inspector like me came looking for you, it was not for anything bad. Siu looked down, his eyes filled with sadness. Minjong understood and added, I figured you must have had your own reasons for keeping your sister in the dark. Soul Hunter Siu sighed to himself. I did not tell her because I was afraid her condition would get worse, but I never expected her to know the whole truth. Siu's eyes softened. A warm feeling hit his heart as he realized that for a long time she had been supporting him from the sidelines without him even noticing. It turns out I was not the only one protecting her. That kid was looking out for me too. Minjong gave a bright smile and said, You have a really great sister. She is pretty smart too. Siu scratched his head and laughed with pride. She really is. Minjong looked at him warmly. You are a good brother too, Hunter Siu. But Minjong's smile suddenly vanished, replaced by a look of sorrow. Not like me. Siu's eyes widened in surprise. Wait, you have a younger brother? Captain Lee Minjong nodded slightly. I have a 14-year-old brother. Siu went silent as her lonely figure walked away under the flickering streetlights, leaving behind a heartbreaking sentence. He never left my memories. Siu just stood there, speechless and frozen. The camera panned up toward the quiet night sky hanging over the city. Minjong's voice rang out, explaining that Zhou Jop Qian was an awakened person with a grafting trait. She remembered the stitched-up monster, realizing he could steal traits from other hunters and even monster genes to graft them onto himself. Siu broke into a cold sweat. Is that even possible? Then he remembered his master's lesson. Hai Qian said that a trait is the unique fingerprint of a soul, and that is why it can't be overwritten. Minjong looked away sadly and confirmed, if we are just talking about possibilities, it can happen. But you would lose your own identity in the process. Images of twisted, deformed mutants appeared like a nightmare as Minjong drove home just how serious this was. Pandemonium was planning to mass-produce illegal awakened ones using that power. If you had not stopped them, I can only imagine how many victims there would have been in the future. Under the rising morning sun, the female inspector bowed her head. Minjong leaned forward in a perfect 90-degree bow, expressing her deepest gratitude. Seriously, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. After that, the Bureau launched a massive investigation into Pandemonium's illegal production of awakened humans. However, because it was so brutal, the media and the public were kept in the dark to prevent any major social chaos. It was a warm scene as Yoon and Jijun hugged each other, crying with joy. Yoon's younger brother, Kim Jijun, managed to make it back home safely, finally bringing the incident to a close. The scene then flashes to a training ground where Siu is practicing, with notification boards popping up showing off his insane stat growth. Superhuman Strength SS, Mastery 21.48%. Tai Chi SS, Mastery 18.03%. Divine Medicine S+, Mastery 24.87%. High Queen's Martial Arts SS, Mastery 11.03%. Heart of a Nobleman SS, Mastery 4.11%. Siu checked his glowing phone and wiped away sweat with a relieved smile. Wow, it looks like all the mastery from those god-tier arts just hit all at once. But the party did not last long. Our hero started sobbing in his chibi form as he looked at the pile of smashed, burnt-out cameras on the ground. Seriously, how many cameras have I wrecked so far? The cost to replace these will definitely be more than what I make from the videos. Tears streaming down his face, he grabbed a tiny memory card. Man, can't anyone help me film this stuff? Luckily, the memory chip was still okay. At least the video footage itself is actually usable. Shaking off the sadness, Siu started picking up glowing fragments and stuffing them into a sack. After all, the competition for dungeon rights is brutal. I finally managed to clear one first. These are the turtle shell fragments I am going to use as construction materials for the build. Carrying his massive sack, he trudged toward the glowing green portal. It might take a while to gather all the supplies I need, and it will probably be a minute before I can officially become a hunter too. As he stepped out of the dungeon gate with blue sparks still flying, a familiar voice made him freeze in his tracks. You are finally here, big bro. Standing in the sunlight was Kim Ji-jae, looking hyped and ripped. Siu stood there holding his sack, totally confused by Kim Ji-jae. He started sweating, wondering how the kid healed so fast. How did you know I was here, and how are you already on your feet? Ji-jae just gave a big, confident grin while Siu looked annoyed. The management office. Siu pulled out a piece of paper and waved it around while explaining. They did not tell me directly, though. They just handed over a list of cleared dungeons and said there were not any left to claim because some mystery cleaner had already wiped them all out. Siu rubs his nose, looking guilty. He squints hard. Did you seriously ransack every single one of those dungeons? Siu nods like a bobblehead. Yeah, it was brutal. Thought I was gonna kick the bucket. Siu is speechless. His blood starts boiling. Is this dude actually insane? If you just called me, Ri-jun rubs his head, I didn't have your number. Bro, Siu snaps. You couldn't just ask your sister? Like a light bulb went off, Ji-jun smacks his palm, eyes wide. Oh man, you are a total genius. Seriously bro, Chibi-Siu is fuming. What do you even want? Ji-jun flashes a cocky, trademark thumb up. Asked my sis, and found out you are grinding for loot. You saved my life, remember? Bro, I am here to help. Siu laughs with total confidence, waving him off. Look, I don't need help, and why call me bro? You are B rank. I can't drag you into this. Ri-jun waves his hands frantically. No need to split the loot. I know you helped my sister out a ton. Siu's eyes literally turn into gold stars. Wait, free help? A top-tier, tanky hunter just fell right into my lap? Why would I say no to that? Siu starts walking, acting all cool. Don't worry about it, man. Your sister did a lot for me too. Ji-run rushes after him. Hold up. Bro, let's hit one raid before you decide. I already booked the Dragon Turtle dungeon. Siu's face lights up like he hit the jackpot. That legendary, high-stakes, bloody competitive dungeon? The bait worked. Ri-jun punches the air, eyes full of fire. Let's get in there and raid. Just let me prove what I am worth. You keep all the loot. Siu crosses his arms, doing the math. Seems like Kim Jun isn't backing down, and since he is giving me everything, I've got nothing to lose. He glances at the cracked camera lens in his hand. Suddenly, a light bulb flickers. Siu realizes something massive. Hold on, Kim Jun is a B-rank hunter, plus he has that A+ regeneration trait. Siu starts scheming. Even if he gets thrashed, he can heal himself. I've got my own healing skills too. I won't have to babysit him. So, Siu slowly walks over and drops a hand on the kid's shoulder. Hey you. His eyes flash with a devious purple glow. Hey kid, you know how to work a camera? Suddenly, we are in a lush forest. Mid-battle, Siu stands tall, fists wrapped in blinding blue energy. Boom. One savage punch straight to the stone monster's dome. It explodes into a million tiny little pieces. Standing among the wreckage, Siu is still covered in blue fire. He shrugs. Huh. These guys weren't as tough as I expected. Staring at his glowing blue hand, he thinks. It's not just breaking something hard, it's like the concept of hardness itself is being erased. The yin-yang symbol flashes in his mind. He finally gets it. I didn't realize it before, but after that dragon hunt, the true power of Tai Chi is returning everything to nothingness. He looks at the dragon scale. This power literally neutralized its entire defense. It fits my supernatural abilities perfectly, so this is why that old master recommended this specific style. Suddenly, the scale in his hand turns to dust. Chibi Siu is shook. Man, I can't even control my own strength. Ji Jun is standing there holding the camera, looking lost. Siu asks, Hey, did you get the shot? The kid jumps, stammering out a yes. Inside, Jun is screaming. His face is ghost white. What just happened? He killed 20 turtles in 1 minute. Siu casually says, base pay is 10 million won. No bonuses for high numbers though. But don't worry, I'll cover hazard pay and other extra fees. Ji Jun is still shell-shocked, just whispering okay. The kid just stands there, totally frozen. His brain is still processing the madness. Siu sees that look of determination and smirks. I'll do my best, big brother. That night, back at the house, a single light stays on. A quiet voice mumbles in the dark. Dioku, the editor, is glued to her screen, typing away suspiciously. Wait, did the boss actually hire his own personal cameraman? On screen, Ji-jun faces two nasty-looking giant wolves. He shouts, Bro, leave this to me. I've got them. But reality hits hard. A wolf slams into him, sending him flying and the camera sliding across the dirt. Even while getting mauled, Ji-jun lunges for the camera, hugging it like his life depends on it. His eyes are bloodshot. You think you can take me down that easily? This camera is the mission my big brother gave me. He jumps up, squaring off against the pack. I'll protect this thing even if it kills me. Back in the room, the editor is sweating bullets, eyes wide. How is he doing that? In the clip, Siu pulls out his phone. Gizun starts panicking, yelling for him to run. Siu just looks confused. Like, what are you even doing? DQ keeps typing, basically acting out the scene herself. It is such a huge honor to be your cameraman, sir. Big brother, I think we can get even better quality on these shots. Reality snaps back as a chime rings. Shu walks into a shop. He is surprised. Oh, you are here too, Miss Shu? The pink-haired girl smiles back. Hey there, Shu. He slowly walks over, looking a bit awkward. Honestly, Ji-jun told me you've been teaching him a lot lately. Siu waves his hands, turning red. Teaching? No way. I'm the one getting help from him. I don't even have to worry about my camera breaking anymore. He smiles, thinking about a tiny, hard-working version of Ji-jun. Plus, from booking dungeons to grinding and hauling monster loot, he handles all that grunt work himself. I don't even have to ask him. Seiyun blushes, crossing her arms shyly. It's been so hectic. I haven't thanked you for saving Ji-jun yet. Siu just shrugs. He's family, right? Seiyun jumps, stammering out an apology. Siu tilted his head innocently, totally lost as to why she was blowing up like that. Something wrong? Siu turned red, whispering about family. Wait, did you think? He just acted clueless, like a lost puppy. He is just her brother, right? Right, I just meant Ji-jun is your brother. Seiyun let out a massive sigh, blushing hard, while Seiyu stayed confused. Wait, what did you think I was saying? She waved her hands frantically, saying it was nothing. Face red as a beet, she stuttered that Ji-jun kept calling him Big Bro. Wait, Siyu asked, what? Seiyun quickly covered her mouth, claiming it was nothing. She desperately tried to change the subject, telling him not to worry his little head about it. Sir, about this device. While Seiyu was still annoyed and confused, he got home and scrolled his phone, grinning. Finally, I am almost a rank, a hunter. That 1 in 1,000 registration is almost here. I have got all the building materials and the permits are nearly done. Outside, the sun was blazing. He felt satisfied, thinking they were finally ready to build that new home. But as he drifted off, his phone suddenly buzzed, startling him. Who is it? Who is calling at this hour? A notification popped up on the screen. HK Win is requesting a video call. Do you want to accept? Siu jumped, his pupils shrinking. Oh man, it is HK Win. His hands started shaking like crazy. He had been so busy he missed his calls. I forgot to call him back. With trembling hands, Siu started to panic. He is probably super pissed off right now, isn't he? No way. If that is all, it would be fine. He swallowed hard, sweating buckets. I have to answer, right? No backing out now. He shakily accepted the call. He squeezed his eyes shut and grit his teeth, preparing for the worst. Then, a deep, calm voice echoed from the other end. Oh, my dear subscriber, you have not checked in lately. Siu squinted, thinking he sounded way calmer than expected. But then, HK Win got dead serious. Do you know how worried I was? Suddenly, a murderous aura exploded from the phone. The image of a jacked HK Win appeared on the screen, arms crossed over his massive chest. His voice growled, asking why he was being ignored. Siu felt his soul leave his body. His inner voice screamed that the dude was absolutely livid. Siu scratched his head with a fake laugh, trying to play it cool. I had some really big things to handle. HK Win just smirked back. Oh, obviously. Why else would you dare ignore my calls? Relieved, Siu flopped into his chair. I really did not mean to. I have just been swamped with all these important missions piling up lately. HK Win replied softly, saying he knew he was busy. I guess you have way more important things to do than talk to me. Siu broke into a cold sweat, turning pale at the sarcasm. That explains why you went silent, even when my channel hit 90 subscribers. Siu thought, wait, didn't it hit 100 in that last GodTube video? What on earth did he do to make his sub count tank like that? Siu was still shaking, but HK Win just smirked. His tone shifted to something more forgiving. Well, whatever. Let bygones be bygones. Anyway, the god of strength cracked his knuckles with a bright, terrifying smile. Since you have been slacking lately, let's check your physical condition right now. Siu turned pale, sweat pouring down his face as he let out a weak laugh. Meanwhile, HK Win happily suggested they start their PT session. Instantly, the screen showed Siu doing push-ups in a puddle of sweat. He was grimacing and screaming in total agony. From above, HK Win loomed over him. The guy was struggling to hold on as his master yelled, "Invalid, do it again!" Siu cursed him internally. His tongue was hanging out from exhaustion. He was red as a lobster, crawling on the floor. HK Win would not stop. No half-assing it. The god of strength patted his student, giving a thumbs up that felt like torture. Since you have been so lazy, do 10 more reps. Time passed and the moon came out, but the counting never stopped. 1, 2, 3. Siu collapsed, panting as notification windows flashed like crazy. Superhuman strength mastery 29.05%, plus 0.38%. Ha, my mastery. His eyes went wide, jaw dropping in total shock. It went up 3% just from one workout. He felt a strange power from another dimension surging through him. But before he could celebrate, he puked up a glittering, sparkling rainbow. His chest was heaving as he lay on the floor, eyes rolling back. I cannot do this anymore. If I keep going, I am literally going to die right here. Suddenly, HK Win appeared hanging upside down from above. His voice was mocking. My dear subscriber, our PT session is not over yet. Who told you that you could rest? Is someone threatening you with a knife or something? Siu was foaming at the mouth, staring blankly up. He cursed silently, feeling his muscles tear. This guy is trying to kill me with this workout, no doubt about it. He is definitely trying to kill me. HK Win clapped his hands with a big smile. Your workout starts now. Next up, 3,000 burpees. Siu screamed, let's just do it next time. To escape, he crawled on the floor, stuttering about the next video content. Suddenly, the scene shifted to a massive desert with majestic pyramids. A winged figure streaked across the sky, landing on top of a pyramid. It was a woman with hawk wings and a cat's face, facing HK Win, who waited. The Egyptian goddess jumped, pointing at HK Win. What is this? Why are you here? Why did you come to this place? HK Win held out his hand with a friendly smile. Nothing much. I just came to challenge you to a riddle. The Sphinx started trembling. Challenge me to a riddle? HK Win smirked, confirming it. His finger wagged mockingly. It would be boring if we just did things the normal way. He pointed straight at the Sphinx and declared a brand new rule. Let us add a little twist to this. Back to the conversation, Siu was drinking a soda while HK Win explained the plan. A riddle contest with a Sphinx? You are literally challenging her. Siu scrolled his phone, seeing the Sphinx's GodTube channel. According to the video, the first subscriber to solve her riddle gets a dinner date with Cleopatra, the most beautiful woman in all of Egypt. By the way, no one has won yet. You see that? Not a single person has answered correctly yet, Hercules asked. Siu shrugged. Yeah, I see it. But is it even doable? He flashed a cocky grin. No reason it should not work, right? At the end of the day, a riddle is just a riddle. Easy money. But Hercules cut him off. Listen, you cannot be that naive. The god of strength told a terrifying story with cartoonish vibes. Have you ever heard of Thoth? The god of knowledge? Even he lost to the Sphinx. Ever since Oedipus beat that beast way back in the day, that creature has been completely and utterly obsessed with riddles. Siu just laughed. Wait, for real? Haha, that is actually better. If we take him down, we are definitely going to go viral and get all the attention. Hercules got hyped. Wait, you know how to beat him? Siu deadpanned. Nope, no clue. Hercules froze. Wait, what? Siu just scratched his head and looked away. How can we win if the god of wisdom? Thoth. Lost. He is literally omniscient. That power lets gods and Buddhas know everything and anything. Everything. Hercules roared out in frustration. Time for 5,000 bench presses. Siu jumped in. Wait, hold up. Hercules looked confused. Isn't our goal to win this thing? Siu just smirked back at him. What do you mean? Is this not a contest? Siu flashed a devious little smile. Technically, yeah. But winning is not actually the point here. What we really need, Siu said, raising a finger with a calculating look in his eyes, is to drive traffic to our YouTube channel. Back in the desert, Hercules pointed at the Sphinx. Let us add a new rule. The Sphinx looked worried. A new rule? Hercules nodded. Exactly. The god of strength crossed his massive arms over his chest. Here is the deal. Every single time you get a riddle wrong, I get to punch you once. Deal? The Sphinx panicked. Are you trying to kill me? Your punches are definitely not normal. Hercules smirked, offering a deal that sounded fair. Fine. How about you ask 2 questions for everyone I ask? Fair, right? You can hit me if you answer my questions. Or maybe the famous Sphinx is just scared of being wrong? Baited, the Sphinx roared and accepted the challenge. Fine. It is on. The Sphinx dove from the pyramid, claws out and ready. She thought to herself, this is my chance. A chance to turn this muscle-bound freak into cat food. Or maybe just lunch. Seeing his prey walk right into the trap, Hercules nodded to himself. Nice try, Sphinx. I like your spirit. Then bring it on. Hit me with your 2 questions. The goddess slammed her feet down. Fine. First question. She threw out her best riddle with a smug grin. I am born in water, but I die when I enter it. When I leave, I come alive again. What am I? Our muscle god stroked his chin, thinking hard. A white whale? The Sphinx was speechless. The answer is salt. Suddenly, she froze up completely. Hercules started rushing her. Well, what are you waiting for? Come on, let us see what you have got. Staring at that mountain of muscle, the cat girl started shaking. Sweat poured down her face. Can I actually hit him? What if he rips me apart the second I touch him? But Hercules just stood there, totally chill. Come on, hit me already. We made a deal, and those are the rules of the game. Ignoring the risks, the Sphinx closed her eyes and swung a massive, earth-shattering punch. Dust flew everywhere. Blood splattered from his chest, but the muscle man just brushed it off like a fly. Ha, just like that. Stupid dust. The Sphinx shrank into the corner of the screen, absolutely terrified. Thinking he was about to hit back, she pointed a finger. You promised. This is the rule of our contest. But Hercules just calmly spat blood. I did not say anything. What is the next question? Realizing she was still in one piece, the Sphinx smirked. He actually is not hitting back. This is great. Awesome. She stood tall and continued. Next question. What never changes color no matter how many times it changes its clothes? Think fast, tough guy. This time she did not wait for him to guess. A shadow, she shouted the answer with a victory laugh. Taking full advantage, the giant cat lunged with razor-sharp claws and glowing eyes. This time, I am going to hit him for real. The impact was explosive. A blinding light and a hurricane-force wind swept across the entire vast desert landscape. Fresh blood dripped onto the dry sand. A calm voice broke the silence. Now it is my turn, right? The Egyptian goddess broke into a cold, nervous sweat. Right. She told herself that no matter what he asked, she just had to answer correctly. The god of strength stretched, his bloody chest puffed out, pointing toward a weird holographic image. Okay, here is my question. You know what a centaur is, right? When a female centaur gets pregnant, which belly actually gets big? Can you guys guess the answer? The sky was clear blue as bright sunlight filtered through the palm leaves. Suddenly, the entire space went dead silent. The Sphinx looked completely confused and incredibly stupid. Huh? Hercules raised an eyebrow. Wait, you seriously do not know? Panicking, she held up her claws, sweating bullets. Wait, just hold on. I am thinking, okay? Just give me a second. Her cat brain went into total overdrive. Her eyes scanned the data. The top half is human, while the bottom half is a horse. Both halves have organs that could technically carry a baby. So, which side is it really? The god's voice boomed again. You do not know, do you? Her pupils shrank in pure terror. Is there really a riddle out there I do not know? That is impossible. Her bones started cracking loudly. Hercules flashed a demonic grin as blue flames erupted around him. You really should have just guessed something. Now, it is time for your beating, right? The Sphinx jumped back, screaming in total agony. I am going to die! I am definitely dead! In total despair, she held her head and yelled, What is the actual answer? The god went silent for a second, then dropped a cold line, a punch. The goddess just stared, having no clue what was happening. Her jaw dropped. What? Standing tall in the desert, Hercules spread his arms, acting totally innocent. Didn't we agree you get hit every time you miss a riddle? The Sphinx shook with confusion. But why did you? Suddenly, the giant cat's eyes lit up as she realized she had been played like a total fool. Man, these geniuses are actually hilarious. The screen split between a smirking Hercules and young Siu staring at his phone with a totally wicked and dark expression. Exactly, I said I had a riddle. I never said it actually had an answer. Hearing that, the goddess bolted from her muscular nightmare, screaming loudly across the sky. Have mercy. Please, I do not want to die. Suddenly, the air exploded and the space around them shattered. Hercules dropped into his lethal fighting stance. Well, if you won't hit me first, then I guess I will. A blinding light whited out the screen as he delivered his final judgment. Second form. The whole sky literally ripped apart. A majestic lion glowing with blue electricity completely surrounded Hercules. A roar echoed through space as he announced his ultimate move. Superworld-ending god-slaying punch. A massive beam of terrifying energy blasted down, crushing the poor Sphinx into a shooting star across the desert sky. Hercules is the true master of martial arts. Part 2. Overworld Annihilation. Back in the familiar room, Siu is glued to his phone screen. A smug grin creeps up as notifications spam the screen. You just witnessed the perfect martial arts of Hercules. SSS-rank proficiency is creeping up. Martial arts proficiency 17.04% plus 0.1%. My mastery goes up just by watching this? No way. He strokes his chin, eyes narrowing with that sweet satisfaction of a viral video. We actually pulled some serious views. Over 174,000 views and 783 subs. @KRAN says it depends on which part you use. @MonkeyKingKKKK is wondering how the sub count jumped from 90 to 783 so fast. Looks like the internet is actually vibing with this. Siu's celebration gets cut short. Scene change to a sun-drenched luxury office at the SH Group. Did you look into that yet? Yes, ma'am. A cold-faced female director grills her secretary. Word is, young Charon asked for a favor to help some guy named Meng Siu. That is SH Group's own Han Mina. Meng Siu. Her long fingers tap on his resume. So my niece actually went out of her way to help this kid? Name. Meng Siu. Male. B-rank hunter. What's their deal? The secretary breaks into a cold sweat while nervously reporting the juicy details to his boss. We can't confirm the details, but they meet up 2 or 3 times a week. Hearing this, the director's calm face completely shatters. Her eyes go wide. Wait, they're actually meeting up? Apparently, they even met privately inside the SH building. Just the 2 of them alone? Seriously? Auntie immediately goes into overprotective mode. Dark vibes fill the room as she imagines her haughty niece hanging out with some random guy. That kid never showed any interest when famous celebrities and rich heirs from the most powerful corporations tried to get close to her. Now my own niece is actually seeing some random guy? What exactly is he to her anyway? I definitely cannot just sit back and let this disaster happen. Back to Siu, who is literally worshipping his phone on the table. Thank the gods, I finally hit 1,000 subscribers. Please forgive my earlier rudeness. He cradles his phone like a holy relic. I gained 300 followers overnight? This is totally insane. The god tells him to stand up. I felt a little bitter before, master. How could I ever show my face after being such a brat? I'm so sorry. Siu smiles like a forgiving parent. It's fine to be annoyed. I was late even though I promised to teach you. No big deal. Get up now. Siu slams his head on the desk, pivoting into the most shameless brown-nosing ever. What are you saying? Of course you're busy. You're a god after all. Master, it's my fault for being impatient and rushing you. Siu gives a weak laugh and changes the subject. Anyway, enough of that. So, what happened to that jerk? You didn't actually kill him, right? The lion god just pats his head and laughs, recounting his cold-blooded mercy. My heart wavered after he begged for his life, so I held back and just gave him a tiny, little love tap. Siu's face contorts as the god's head pops out of the screen. A love tap? You really held back and hit him lightly? Yeah, right. Then I stripped him. Wait, he voluntarily gave this to me to show his gratitude. Siu's eyes nearly pop out. His pupils shake as a glowing blue system notification blinds him. Hercules has gifted you a channel registration slot. Hercules flexes his abs and blushes. I grabbed that jerk's membership by force. It was a gift. But what would I do with it? So I thought of you. I decided to steal it. No, trade it. Siu's eyes light up like he's holding a gold mine. Channel capacity is now 3 out of 4. I get a free sub. This thing is worth tens of billions of one. This is a massive win. He pumps his fist at the screen, cheering with his master. This is seriously the best gift ever. I'm glad you like it, kid. Oh, and that jerk gave me something else too. I'm giving you this one too. Before he can even process the joy, another notification hits him hard. Hercules has gifted you a dinner date voucher with the one and only Cleopatra. Wait, a dinner date with Cleopatra? The Greek god of strength blushes and whispers, building up the hype. I heard she's a total smoke show. Rumor says she's as beautiful as Aphrodite. Just go and meet her once, all right? Don't be a chicken. Reality shatters. Siu grabs his head, sweating buckets with a fake smile. What the hell is this? I'm in too deep now. Cut to a fancy restaurant. The waitress brings the food. Here's what you ordered. Thanks. Siu sits there looking like a ghost, fake smiling and sweating through his shirt. How did this happen? Suddenly, on the phone in front of him, the seductive face of the Egyptian queen appears with a smirk. Hello there, Siu. Siu freezes. He gulps, staring at the high-definition image of the goddess Cleopatra as she crosses her arms. The pressure is insane. I can't believe I'm on a video call dinner date with Cleopatra. Whispers from the other tables start filling the room. Everyone probably thinks I'm a total nutcase. Looking at the beauty smiling at him, he can't help but admit it. Man, she really is gorgeous. Like, wow. He closes his eyes, trying to resist. A true gentleman values wisdom over looks. Don't fall for it. Just keep it together. System. Noble mind proficiency, up 0.5%. He takes a sip of water, completely shocked. Wait, what? Can her beauty actually boost my noble mind stats? The Egyptian queen leans in with a blush and a killer smile, dropping a total bombshell. Why don't we just get married? Siu immediately sprays water everywhere. He coughs, his eyes bugging out of his head. Water is dripping off his chin. He's totally stunned. Come again? He wipes his mouth, looking at her with pure suspicion. Is she even sane? Cleopatra just keeps smiling calmly. You probably think I'm crazy. I won't deny it. She acts all innocent and tilts her head. Siu clears his throat. Hey, you're the one who brought it up first. The noble mind notification keeps flashing. Cleopatra just tilts her head with a seductive look and smirks. I was only joking. Relax. Who knew he would have that vibe? Total bad boy energy, but keeping it strictly professional. He just shrugs and says he is being honest. The queen flashes a smug, haughty grin. She reaches out, looking like she owns the place. She says no guy has ever treated her this way before, since they usually just simp. Siu eyes narrow as he crunches the numbers. It makes sense. Honestly, any dude would lose his mind seeing a face that gorgeous right in front of him. They wouldn't just give her their hearts, they would literally hand over their kidneys, livers, and every other organ they have just to please her. The beauty leans into the screen again, dropping a massive hint. She asks why they don't just get married. Siu breaks into a cold sweat, wondering why she keeps pushing this. He lets out a heavy, defeated sigh. Is she just trolling him? She says she is dead serious, which only gives him more of a reason to say no. Cleopatra looks shocked. Does he not like her? Is she ugly to him? Siu panics and clears it up fast. It is not that. They just can't actually meet. The queen fires back, asking if love really needs physical touch. The guy scratches his head, looking awkward. He admits it is not strictly required, but it definitely helps the vibe. Actually, I think it is a total deal breaker. Cleopatra gives him a look full of hidden meaning. She says it seems like he has zero desire for her. Siu keeps it cool. He just doesn't cave to temptation. He explains that if he actually loved someone, he would be willing to give her the entire world. That raw honesty catches the queen off guard. Her eyes go wide with surprise. She finally admits that she might actually be falling for him for real. Siu just thinks it is all total cap. She catches him immediately, asking if he was thinking how nonsense this is. He admits it. She begs him to just lie and say yes. No can do. Suddenly, a flood of blue notifications pops up. Siu realizes his mastery levels are shooting through the roof while he keeps his guard up. His SSS-rank skill, Gentleman Mind, usually levels up super slow. He can't even imagine what kind of chaos would break out if he stopped being so cautious right now. He stares the goddess down, standing his ground. He tells her straight up, "I am still a human, Cleopatra, and we just cannot meet in person." She shrugs with a mischievous grin. She tells him he doesn't act human at all, especially since he has been shutting down her legendary charms for the last hour. The Egyptian queen blushes and covers her mouth. She asks if he has a problem downstairs. That is the last straw. Siu snaps and asks if they can finally be done eating. Cleopatra just laughs at his frustration. "Relax," she says. "It was only a little joke." Suddenly, a glowing aura explodes around the queen. She reaches out with total authority. She asks what would happen if he became a god. Siu just blinks, totally lost and confused. He reminds her he is human. She says she knows, but she used to be human too. Her voice turns hypnotic. "If you become a god," she whispers, "then we can meet. Actually, there might be a way for us to meet even if you stay mortal." Siu is totally stunned. "Wait, what?" Cleopatra gives him a confident, piercing look. She says she means exactly what she said. They can meet even if he never becomes a god. It is totally possible. To be exact, she can come to him. The guy is speechless. He stammers, asking how that is possible. He thought dimensions couldn't interfere. She confirms that, in theory, he is right. Siu's eyes widen as he catches the loophole. In theory? That means there is a workaround. He asks her if she has seen someone else do it before. Memories of that mysterious hooded guy from the gate flash through his mind, the one who broke the rules. Siu stays dead silent, thinking fast. He swallows hard, feeling the tension. He asks if she knows about that man. Cleopatra leans in close, making his face turn bright red. She whispers. She winks playfully, putting a finger to her lips. "It is a secret," she giggles. "You can't just pry into a lady business." Anyway, let's head back to reality. Outside the massive corporate tower, the sun is blazing. Inside a car, a secretary is reporting to a very grumpy Aunt Mina. He says Siu is at a restaurant. He ordered 2 meals at a table for one and he is eating them both. "What are we supposed to do?" Mina bites her lip, picturing the weird scene. He is eating 2 dinners alone? She heard Charon was interested in this guy, so she wants to see if he is actually decent. A dark aura surrounds the aunt as she bites her thumb. She is picturing Siu's blank, confused face in her head. Taryn usually handles her own business, but love makes people lose their minds. This guy seems totally off his rocker. How dare he try to seduce her niece? She needs to see this freak for herself. The luxury car tears through the city streets, weaving through traffic. "Let's just get there first," she snaps. Back at the restaurant, Siu is still totally confused. But the beauty starts acting all cute and pouty. She tells him there is absolutely nothing she wouldn't share with her future husband. It is all on the table. Cleopatra leans in close, showing off her curves with a killer smile. She says she would even tell him exactly how many moles she has on her body. The shy guy starts coughing fit to burst. He backs away, looking pained. He begs her to stop messing with him. Seeing his stiff reaction, the queen just giggles. Normally, men would be drooling all over themselves by now. But he knows she has no plan to reveal the secret to crossing dimensions. She looks surprised by the sharp question. She claims she was totally going to tell him, but she is afraid if she spills everything, he won't want to see her anymore. Siu just judges her internally. In other words, she has no intention of saying a single word about it. Cleopatra rests her chin on her hand, reading him like a book. "You think I am lying, don't you?" He answers bluntly. Yes, she loves how honest he is. She brushes her dark hair back and gives him the puppy dog eyes. "Are you really not interested in marrying me?" The stone-faced man says no way. He doesn't care about her beauty. Siu stands up suddenly. "This meal is over. I have nothing left to say to you. And besides that," he stops when he notices people at other tables whispering and pointing. He starts sweating, realizing the situation. If he keeps talking, everyone will think he is a total lunatic. To everyone else, he is just some weirdo talking to himself while staring at a blank phone screen in the middle of a restaurant. As her prey tries to escape, the goddess reaches out. She says she really wants to see him again. Then she asks if he could please subscribe to her channel. Right. Siu stared at the screen. That was her game from the start. No wonder she kept pushing for marriage. Cleopatra winked, dropping a classic flirty line. At first it was a trap, but now, not so much. I really want to go out with you again, Siu. He spun around, eyes glued to his phone. What does her wanting a date have to do with subscribing to her channel anyway? The total bombshell replied, telling him it is the only way they can meet. You know how it is, she teased, resting a finger against her bright red lips. The Egyptian queen whispered some mysterious, sincere nonsense. Let me tell you one more thing, she added with a smirk. Not every god out here is running a YouTube channel, you know? He walked out, replaying her words in his head. Not all gods run YouTube channels? What kind of crazy talk is that supposed to be? Total gibberish. More importantly, what does she think marriage is? Whatever, I should not care. He stared at his phone, his mouth twisting into a wide, greedy grin at the thought of profit. Anyway, my gentleman mind mastery did not budge after all that trouble I caused. But it jumped nearly 7% just from one dinner date? Are you kidding me? Haha, gentleman mind. SSS-rank. Mastery at 12.91% plus 6.8%. Maybe an occasional dinner date with her is not the worst idea. Plus, I have got a free subscription handy. Just as he was celebrating, his phone buzzed, dragging him back to reality. What the heck am I thinking? I need to raid way more dungeons to hit A-rank status. Just keep grinding. Suddenly, his screen lit up with a new message. Siu looked confused. Siu. A guilt-tripping text popped up. Siu, it is my birthday today. Why are you not home early? He froze. Sweat started pouring like rain. Today was her birthday? Oh man, I have been so spacey lately I completely forgot. Staring at the red traffic light, his heart sank. I almost let the most important thing slip through the cracks. Her birthday is not just a normal celebration. It means so much more. Meanwhile, at a silent columbarium, the sound of a car door opening sliced through the quiet air. The secretary was baffled. He went straight from the restaurant to the columbarium? Is there a reason for this, Director? Heels clicked on the pavement. Director Mina just looked cold. The confused secretary kept pushing. I get you are curious about him, but why come here yourself? The powerful woman's face turned icy. She was not in the mood for any more questions. Her eyes were filled with deep thought, because this involves chairing. The boss lady barked out a command as she started walking toward the entrance. I will wait. Go find us a place where we can actually talk. It is a bit creepy to have a meeting inside a columbarium anyway. The secretary sighed. Whatever. As they walked, Mina warned him to keep it professional and not be rude. We are just here to talk, she reminded. He nodded back. Yeah, I have got it. Before he could finish, a piercing siren ripped through the silence. Red warnings flashed on an invisible screen. A dungeon break has been detected within 30 meters. System alert. Attention, citizens. A dungeon break is in progress. Director Mina's pupils shrunk to pinpricks. She stood there in absolute horror. A break? Right now? Right here? Above the columbarium, a massive rift tore the sky open, swirling with blood-red flames. A ground-shaking explosion rocked the earth. Mina just stood there, stunned, whispering, within 30 meters. Do not tell me, the secretary screamed, his face a mask of pure terror as disaster struck. This is not a drill. It is confirmed. This is a rank B dungeon break. Emergency screens flashed red as the loudspeakers blared. Attention, citizens. Please evacuate and seek shelter inside the nearest building immediately. This is not a drill. Move now. The clock winds back to a quiet sunset. Siu stood outside the columbarium with a puppy. Blackie, you gotta stay here and wait for us, okay? The dog barked once. Xiao smiled at the dog. Blackie is so smart and obedient, she chirped. Siu looked at them with a sigh. It would be great if we could bring him inside. The big brother turned to his sister with a grin. We have got to introduce him to Mom and Dad. After all, he is basically part of the family now, right? Let us go, Xiao. The little girl nodded. Yeah. They stood before two urns labeled Xiao He Huan and Ming Don. Siu's voice turned soft and heavy. Mom, Dad, we are here. His eyes drifted as his thoughts began to wander. Today was Xiao's birthday, but it was also the anniversary of the day they lost their mother. The memory of the day Mom died is something I cannot scrub from my brain, no matter how hard I try to push it all away. Because while we were out celebrating Xiao's birthday, Mom got caught in a sudden dungeon break and died. Xiu's eyes filled with pain. Suddenly, Xiao broke his trance. Hey, I have a question. Oppa, she started, looking up at him hesitantly. The day Mom died. That moment when she held us both so tight during the explosion. You remember that, right? She pressed her hand against the cold glass. Do you remember what she said? I am not sure if you do, but for some reason I feel like she was trying to tell us something. Xiu's lip twitched as the memory haunted him, he thought to himself, his mind stuck on that dark day. Yeah, I remember. I remember everything perfectly. That is a memory I will carry to my grave. But, hiding the pain behind a fake smile, he looked at her. No, I do not really remember what she said either. Pretty tragic past, right? But back to the present, where everything is hitting the fan. The alarm screamed, snapping everyone to attention. Warning. A rank B dungeon break has been detected. System alert. A magic sphere appeared, explaining the situation. This phenomenon occurs when dungeon magic becomes distorted, leading to two major consequences. Pay close attention to the following details. First, there is the dungeon shock. This is when the monsters trapped inside the dungeon start pouring out into our world. Dealing with the monsters is not the biggest nightmare if you can fight. The real problem is the dungeon explosion. That is when the magical energy inside the dungeon detonates. It is pure chaos. Aside from the blast damage, ordinary people caught in the shockwave are likely to die. The magical fallout is just too much for a normal human body to handle. Even if they survive, they usually get sick. But in rare cases, humans might awaken their powers by resonating with the explosive magical energy. It is a 1 in a million shot. Back to the brutal reality. Director Mina stood frozen under a blood-red sky. A dungeon explosion? She gasped. A massive black fireball tore through space, leveling a building in seconds. The speakers kept screaming, "If you can hear this message, please evacuate into the building immediately. Seek shelter now. This is an emergency broadcast." Mina and her team turned ghost pale, sweating in absolute panic. The crowd was screaming, shoving and trampling each other to reach the safety of the shelter behind the glass doors. Under the flickering lights, everyone was gasping. Mina hunched over, hands on her knees, struggling to catch her breath. It was pure exhaustion and terror. Behind her, the secretary leaned back, desperate for air. Mina stared through the glass in shock. A wave of black magic was surging forward, and a man was out there, sobbing in terror. A massive magic fire tornado is literally swallowing everything in sight. It is devouring the landscape while this little guy tries to bolt. His legs turn to jelly and he faceplants hard. That box he was carrying? Yeah, it is totally smashed to pieces now. He is shaking like a leaf, face covered in tears and blood. He looks back, absolutely terrified. Everyone else is safe inside but totally useless. But right at that hopeless second, a familiar figure blurs past the director at insane speeds. This guy is literally charging straight into the jaws of death without a second thought. Director Mina jumps out of her skin seeing that familiar shadow bolt past. Her eyes are wide with shock, totally losing her cool. She screams at the young guy, trying to pull him back. Turn around! It is way too late to save that man. Ignoring the magic flames ready to eat everything, Xiu dives into the storm and grabs the guy. His boots hit the dirt hard. Suddenly, a wave of blue mana explodes from him, pushing back the fear and the fire with raw power. He throws the man over his sturdy shoulder and stares up at the blood-red mana vortex screaming in the sky. Veins are popping on his forehead as Xiu grinds his teeth, sweating bullets. Crap, it is way too late to get this guy inside the building. What now? The fire tornado is roaring like it wants to tear the world apart. In this life or death moment, he has to act. Xiu clenches his fist, gathering a massive glow of power. He leaves the innocent man behind for a second. He lunges forward with everything he has got, punching the magic storm right in the face. His eyes are sharp and intensely focused. Light spills from his mouth as he mumbles the mantra. Taiji, this is the root of all creation and change. But that glowing red destruction starts wrapping around his hand as he moves. Every single thing in the entire universe has to change eventually. But it all starts from two main sources. His hands move fast, tracing out mystical paths to control the energy between absolute nothingness and true existence. This is the balance. The struggle and balance of these two things create the world. After all, even dungeon magic is just another part of the universe. Then, something insane happens. He grabs the massive sphere of destruction and yells that it has to follow the laws of nature. Mina and her crew are just standing there with their jaws on the floor. What the hell? Is he actually compressing the explosion? The pressure on his small body is crazy, but Siu just grits his teeth and takes it. Man, I used Taiji to hold the blast, but I still cannot neutralize it. Why is the power leaking out like this? It is too much. This is getting way too dangerous. He yells for his dog, Blackie. The brave little black pup jumps in with a loud, confident bark to answer him. Woof! Turning into a literal vacuum cleaner, Blackie flies around fast, sucking up all the toxic mana stuck to the guy passed out on the ground. This cute pup looks totally badass now, opening his mouth to swallow the black lightning bolts scattered around. Once the floor is clean, Blackie looks up. He is getting the job done. Siu smirks in the middle of the storm. With Blackie here, he is good. No need to worry about the mana leaks anymore. But the real problem? This ticking time bomb in his hands. His arm is burning up and covered in blood from the pressure. His eyes show a mix of guts and fear. I cannot hold this much longer. I have to just take it. Can I actually absorb a compressed explosion from a B-rank dungeon? The pressure is totally suffocating. His pupils shake. I need even more power to squash this blast down further. Right now, I am at the absolute limit. My current power is just not enough. I might actually die. He glances back at his dog wagging its tail, protecting that poor innocent guy lying on the ground. If I try to dodge this now, they are done for. I cannot just move. His bloody hands stay clenched tight. He shuts down the coward inside. No. What the hell am I even thinking right now? Giving up is not an option. Using every bit of will to live, Siu pulls that massive energy into himself, screaming in pure agony. Ah! A blinding red light blasts everything, shooting into the sky and clearing the thick clouds over the columbarium. Director Mina and the guards are frozen, faces pale with shock. Oh my god, can something like this actually happen in real life? It is impossible. Breaking the terrifying silence, Shawa screams as she runs through the smoke and dust. Big brother, where are you? Mina walks over, her heels crunching on the debris. She stops dead, seeing the boy collapsed on the ground. He is scorched and exhausted while his little sister holds him. Tears streaming down her face, Xiaowei grabs his arm and sobs. Why? Why did you do this? Do not die. Please, just stay with me. I need you. Even though he is totally beat up, Siu forces a smile. Hey, Xiaowei, did not you ask me what Mom said before she passed away that day? She shakes her head, tears soaking her cheeks. Stop it. I do not want to hear it now. Do not say another word. But Siu ignores her, his eyes drifting back to those painful memories that never fade. Back then, she said. A bloody memory flashes back. In the middle of an explosion, their mom shields her two kids from the demonic fire. Do not worry, Xiaowei. I have got you. I am fine. Inside her bloody embrace, little Siu cries while she whispers gently to them. Ignoring the pain, she says, Is not it your birthday today? I hope only good things happen on your special day. Her smile is brave, but it is totally heartbreaking to see. I will never let you remember this as the day I died. I will make sure of that. I am fine. I am really okay. Her motherly love beat back the darkness of death because it was her beautiful daughter's birthday after all. She absorbed the entire force of the explosion just so we could survive that day. It was a total, absolute miracle. And just like she said, she miraculously survived that day. She only passed away on the very day after Xiaowei's birthday happened. Sunlight streams through the columbarium windows as Siu finishes his story. In exchange for her life, Xiaowei's birthday became the official anniversary of their mother's death. It is a heavy trade. Since we hold memorials the day before someone passes, Siu smiles through his bruises. He whispers to the crying Xiaowei that Mom probably just did not want her birthday to be the day she died. That was her final wish for her daughter. She wanted her to be happy, not sad on her special day. That is exactly what she said. The memory takes him back to a ruined place overrun by monsters. His voice drops as he remembers a man kneeling in the rubble. That uncle was exactly the same. His face was twisted with pure fear, tears mixing with his screams as he desperately clung to life until the very end. He did not want to go. I cannot die yet. Today is my daughter's birthday. I cannot die today. But the brutal reality of the world swallowed that poor soul up anyway. He only had time for one last broken apology in the dark. I am sorry. Back in the present, Siu gives a bitter smirk under the sunset. He said the same thing. Suddenly, I just really miss her. After saying that, his battered body finally gives out from the fight. He collapses forward, falling right into Xiaowei's waiting arms. He is totally spent now. So yeah, I couldn't just walk away and play dumb. After being knocked out for who knows how long, My eyes suddenly snapped wide open when a totally strange woman started yapping right in my ear. "You are awake," she said. I scrambled up and looked down at that same old hospital gown. I just scratched my head, laughing at my own pathetic luck. Great, here we are again. Back at SH Hospital. I definitely passed out back at the memorial hall. I looked toward the foot of the bed and saw this woman with bright green hair. She had her arms crossed, rocking a super confident smirk. I was totally lost and just blurted out the obvious question, like, who even are you? Once I calmed down, my brain started scanning the room to size things up. Man, this place was massive. The furniture was way too fancy, making me feel totally out of my element and confused. But for real, this was not your typical VIP room at SH Hospital. From the layout to the sheer size, it felt like a triple VIP suite or something. Before I could even guess, the green-haired beauty introduced herself. "I am Charon's aunt, Han Mina. I went to the columbarium because we need to talk." The lady let out a little chuckle, clearly testing my weirdly calm reaction. "By the way," she said, "are you not even going to ask what went down?" Haha. Usually, people would be asking what happened or why I am even here. I just gave her a little smirk, trying to look cool since I am basically a professional at getting hospitalized. Anyway, it is not like this is my first time waking up in a hospital bed. But my cool guy act did not even last 3 seconds before I jumped up and started asking her frantically. Most importantly, "Do you know where my sister is?" Aunt Mina's face suddenly got all serious. She started explaining what happened, and you could just feel the energy in the room totally drop. "Your sister apparently went into total shock. After you passed out, the poor girl ended up losing consciousness right after you did. I felt like I just got hit by lightning. I started yelling so loud my voice literally cracked. What? She fainted? Where is she? Is she okay?" Seeing how much of a sister-obsessed brother I was, she gave a kind smile. "She is fine now. She is getting treated in the room next door and is recovering super fast." Hearing that, I finally let out a massive sigh of relief. It felt like a whole mountain was lifted off my shoulders. Thank God. Now that I knew my sister was safe, I got my serious face back on and returned to the main topic. "Right. You said you were here to see me. Was there something you wanted to talk about?" Aunt Mina's eyes suddenly got that sharp, business lady look. She just threw out this random, heavy sentence that came totally out of nowhere. "I approve," she said. I just sat there looking like a complete idiot with a million question marks floating over my head. "What? What exactly are you approving of?" Aunt Mina just beamed at me like she already won the game. "I am talking about your relationship with Charon. You two still see each other all the time, right?" I started sweating bullets. Memories of getting absolutely wrecked during sword practice with Charon flashed through my mind, so I tried to explain fast. "Yeah, I mean, you are right. We only meet up twice a week for her sword training, but why bring this up now?" She kept that mysterious smile on her face like she was giving me her blessing. My brain went into hyperdrive. What is she actually approving of? Oh. A bolt of realization hit me hard. I broke into a cold sweat, realizing some major rich family drama was about to go down. Charon's aunt is a high-ranking member of the SH group and a key player in the whole corporation. Charon's sword training alone costs 10 billion won every month, so plenty of people probably hate that massive spending. To dodge that whole marrying into a rich family thing, I just acted like a total goofball and threw out a completely random idea to change the subject. After hearing that, Aunt Mina just froze. She looked totally surprised and asked, "Could something like that even be possible?" I just scratched the back of my head, laughing awkwardly. "Maybe. I have no clue when I can actually build it, but if it fails, I will rethink it." Suddenly, she said something that smelled like straight cash. "I will handle all the building materials for you." My face literally twisted from the shock. "What? You would really do that for me? But like, why?" Calling her auntie totally worked on that tough business lady. She let out a super satisfied smirk. "Auntie, huh?" For some reason, that actually has a pretty nice ring to it. Right then, Aunt Mina pointed a finger at me and gave a wink. That rich lady aura was basically blinding. "Let us do it. I will cover every single expense, whether it works out or not." Hearing about that massive amount of money, my jaw literally hit the floor. I was sweating bullets at that point. Like, excuse me, what? Even a rough guess put the cost at 3 billion won, but I guess that is just pocket change for the SH group. I was still processing it when Aunt Mina just laughed. "But why would you go that far for me?" She just acted like it was the most obvious thing ever. "Well, because this new house will be the home you and Charon share, right?" At that point, my brain officially short-circuited. I just stood there looking like a complete idiot. "Wait, what?" Seeing the awkward silence, she probably realized she went a bit too far. Ignoring my total state of panic, Aunt Mina just started happily scribbling something on a piece of paper. Anyway, I will handle it. I held up a shaking hand to try and stop her. Wait. But she just kept going, all excited. The faster we do this, the better, right? She handed me a slip of paper and explained that this was her number. I would give you a business card, she said, but we handle so many companies that we do not have specific ones. Honestly, it is mostly just to dodge any legal trouble under commercial law. Once she was done, Aunt Mina turned around and waved goodbye. By the way, she said, that is a direct line to me, so if you ever need any help, do not be afraid to call. Go ahead and get some rest now. The door clicked shut, leaving me standing there totally frozen. I was pale as a ghost, staring at the paper. What kind of marital home is she talking about? Siu and his sister Sia were both in hospital gowns, just hanging out and relaxing on a stone bench together. We watched that jet black monster dog happily jumping around and chasing butterflies. I just smirked to myself, still sweating a little when I thought about everything that just went down. Both Charon and Aunt Mina were giving me some serious special treatment. Still, there is a major misunderstanding I definitely need to clear up. I looked at my sister, smiling, and felt a bit of warmth. But honestly, thanks to them, we can actually stay at SH Hospital without any stress. Because of that, Sia's condition has actually been getting a lot better. Even so, I could feel the stress lines forming on my forehead as a new problem popped up. How on earth am I supposed to explain all of this to Sia? The image of that red-haired girl, Lee Min-young, flashed through my mind. She mentioned that Sia already kind of knows about my double life as a hunter and a YouTuber, so I should probably at least try to explain what happened this time. The only problem is, I have no clue where to even start or what to say. Lost in his own head, Siu freezes when a voice calls out from behind. Excuse me? He spins around quickly. Standing right there is the middle-aged guy he nearly died for back in that dungeon. It is a face he definitely won't forget. The dude is in a hospital gown too. Bandages all over his face, hands fidgeting like a total nervous wreck. Hey kid. Recognizing his patient, Siu steps forward to close the gap between them. He flashes a big, friendly grin. Oh, so you are stuck in this hospital too? How are you holding up? The guy just scratches his head, looking a bit shy. With a relieved smile, the man says the doctors gave him a clean bill of health. Siu smiles back, trying to kill the awkward vibe. Honestly, man, I am just glad you are okay. Suddenly, a tiny voice pipes up from down low. Daddy, who is this guy? Tugging on his shirt is a little girl with pigtails and a lollipop, hiding behind her dad like he is a human shield. The dad leans down and tells his daughter, Sweetie, this is the hero who saved my life. The little girl stares up at Siu with massive eyes. This guy really did that? She pauses for a second, like her brain is trying to process that massive reveal. Then, her face lights up. Cheeks turning pink, she beams a huge, adorable smile and chirps, Hi. Hello, meester. Thank you so much for saving my daddy. But as soon as the mushy stuff is over, her eyes lock onto the weird creature standing in the distance. Siu chuckles as the kid squeals with joy. Puppy! Just like that, the lifesaver is forgotten. She bolts toward the monster dog to make a new friend, shouting, Hey, puppy, wait for me! The black hound tilts its head and wags its tail. Woof! Out on the green grass, she is waddling after him, yelling, Catch me if you can! Woof! Watching them play, the man's voice cracks with pure heartbreak. Her mother left us right after she was born. It has just been the two of us ever since. Tears start welling up as he chokes out a grateful smile. If I had died back there, I honestly do not know what she would have done. Hot tears hit the grass as he sobs. How can I ever thank you enough? Siu stays quiet, his face full of deep empathy as the father breaks down, repeating his thanks over and over again while crying. Thank you for saving my daughter. Thank you. Truly, thank you so much. When they say goodbye, the dad bows low, while the little girl waves wildly at her four-legged buddy. Bye-bye, puppy. See you later. Left behind, the black hound drops its paws, looking totally bummed out and letting out a sad little whimper. Right then, Siola walks up and softly calls out, Big brother. Standing beside him, she gives a relieved smile, staring out at the quiet view. I just had a dream, she says. It was about the day Mom died. Usually, she looks so sad when she visits me in my sleep. The memory of her heartbroken eyes feels so real right now. Siola keeps going, her voice trailing off into some mystery. She looks so upset, like there was something she desperately wanted to tell us, but the words just would not come out. She leans forward, a bright smile appearing as she finishes the story. Mom said thank you. Siu looks completely stunned and confused. Thank you? Why would she be saying thank you for anything right now? She just said thank you? The mood shifts for a second. Ciola turns her head away, still smiling, but her eyes look like they are a million miles away. I do not think Mom is coming back to visit anymore. Siu forced a bitter, sad little smile and replied, Yeah, but I still hope she drops by to see us once in a while. Right, because Mom left us behind first. Shaking off the gloom, she looks at her brother with eyes full of pride. But it is okay. It is sad, sure, but I still have my big brother. Her tiny hands pet the soft fur of the monster dog as it barks happily. She adds with a giggle, and I have got little Blackie too. Seeing his sister's carefree smile warms Siu's heart like crazy. He stays quiet, just letting out a small, relieved breath and a smile. Looking up at the deep blue sky through the shade of the trees, his mind starts to wander. For some reason, I just have this gut feeling. Taking in the peaceful scene of them and their pet, he thinks to himself, starting from Ciola's next birthday, things are going to be a little different around here. Back in his VIP room, Siu lies on the bed, arm over his eyes, replaying that last fight. If I was just a bit faster, I could have saved him without tanking that dungeon explosion with my own body. The image of that massive god, Hercules, holding a ball of pure energy flashes in his mind, making him break out in a cold sweat. He scoffs. If that was Hercules, man, he could have just stood there and crushed that blast like a bug. Scrolling through his phone, he runs the tactics. Even if it was not a god, S-rank hunters could probably pull it off. Since I just scored a new free subscription, maybe I should pick up a special skill for movement. Something to make me faster on my feet? He frowns, typing away on his phone. Then, he makes the smartest move possible. In a situation like this, I should probably just get Hercules' take on it. He hits send, and boom. A massive image of Hercules in his lion hat explodes into the room. Panting hard, the god yells, Master, did you call for your student? Siu jumps out of his skin. What the hell? Looking at the jacked god dripping with sweat, Siu asks, Are you working out? Hercules gasps for air and booms, Today is Big 3 day, Master. I am hitting the heavy stuff. Just so you know, the Big 3 are the heavy hitters of lifting, squats, deadlifts, and bench presses. Even gods do not skip gym day. Siu feels a weird surge of pride, realizing the big guy actually dropped his heavy set just to rush over here the second he got the text. Happy that he helped with that old history video, Siu gets curious and asks, By the way, how much are you actually lifting? What is your 1 rep max? The god of muscle hangs his head, sounding like a scrawny gym newbie. I think I lost some gains lately because I was too focused on making videos for you. But I can only deadlift 34 megatons right now. Siu's jaw hits the floor. Wait, what? Did you just say 34 megatons? Siu's brain literally short circuits. He starts sweating as he does the math. Isn't 1 megaton the same energy as an explosion from 1 million tons of TNT? That means his deadlift releases energy equal to 34 million tons of TNT. What kind of insane logic is that? I definitely just interrupted a monster's workout. Siu wipes his forehead. Sorry, man. I definitely picked the wrong time to call. But Hercules just flexes his massive biceps. No way, I come running the second my master calls. Siu awkwardly tells him, Look, just talk to me normally, okay? Hercules tilts his head, sounding way too polite. How could a lowly student like me ever do that? Siu sighs, looking the giant in the eye. Because it makes me feel weird. In the blink of an eye, Hercules switches his tone to something way more chill. All right then, let's just talk casual. Scratching his head, the god of gains gets to the point. So, what did you need? After Siu explains his plan, Hercules thinks it over. Honestly, I do not recommend learning some separate movement skill. He raises a finger like a wise professor giving a lecture. Listen, aren't you already learning my divine martial arts? Why look anywhere else? My martial arts style is not just about footwork. It covers every single movement your body makes. Listen, do not overthink it. Learning random styles without a plan will just mess up your core martial arts flow. Siu hesitated. He could not just quit his main class. Just as he was about to quit, the teacher raised a finger and grinned. But if it is just a speed boost, you are fine. Curiosity hit. Wait, just speed? The anatomy lesson kicked in. Throwing a punch takes way more than just your arms. The anatomy diagram popped up as Professor Hercules explained the core movements. It needs total coordination. Lats, shoulders, everything. Synergistic muscles are the key. Martial arts is about systematic movement. Siu listened closely. Clenching his massive fist, the old man dropped the final verdict. A skill that just makes you faster will not hurt your flow. Honestly, it will probably just make your God of War style way deadlier. A light bulb went off. Siu nodded. So a speed buff that does not mess with my footwork? Yeah, I am definitely down for that. Do it right, and you might even outshine me, the master added. Siu waved him off, embarrassed. No way, that is crazy talk. He laughed deeply. I am serious. You can take the best traits from every god and make them your own. A vision of a jacked, god-tier Siu appeared as Hercules hyped him up. Siu just sweated and forced a nervous smile. You think so? Theory aside, he scrolled through his phone. All right, is there actually a god of speed on here? No one specific came to mind. Siu was annoyed by the strict rules of the system. I do not even know the skill until I sub. I hate this system. Hercules pointed up. An image of a winged deity appeared behind him. Want a recommendation? How about the HMH channel? Siu repeated the weird name. HMH? The master promised. I have never caught him once he starts running. A god with a winged hat appeared. Hermes, one of the 12 Olympians and the patron god of thieves, the messenger of the gods, known for his insane speed, but Siu was not buying the holy aura. He looked suspicious. Wait, besides the speed, does this guy have a pretty bad reputation for something else? Hercules groaned. I tried to kill him every time he scammed me, but he is too fast, Siu realized. The god of deception. A sly smile crossed the god's face as he reached out. I do not lie. I just forget the truth sometimes. The master recalled how Zeus would get so pissed he would rain down lightning bolts after being tricked by him. Siu just smiled and waved it off. I bet he missed every shot. Just think about it. Holding his phone, Siu convinced himself. If even Hercules says he is that good, I probably have nothing to worry about. Suddenly, his face went dark. A cold chill ran down his spine as he spotted a flaw. Wait a minute. What if I do not get speed? What if I just learn how to be a scammer? He tapped the screen with a grin. Whatever, Hercules recommended him anyway. If this goes south, I am just going to blackmail the old man for my sub back. Notifications flashed. Subscribe to Hermes. You have received Super Speed SS+. Siu stood there stunned. Whoa. Green light wrapped around him. He exhaled. Super Speed SS+? Thank God. What a relief. Guess it was not a scamming skill. Next morning, Siu checked the new channel. What the hell is this? The feed was full of clickbait trash, titles like Pranking a Woodsman with a Gold Axe, LOL, Pranking Solomon with 2 fake moms, LOL, Pranking Zeus by posing as Hera for alimony, LOL. Siu went blank. He realized immediately that he could not level up by watching this garbage. I have to level up Super Speed SS Plus through actual combat. Time to move. Siu stretched. Standing in the hospital garden, he felt his body was finally back to normal. He checked his status with a grin. Let us see how fast I go when I combine everything. Mastery was 0, but his feet glowed blue. He planted his heel and slammed it down. The force ripped the air apart. Siu turned into a literal pillar of light. He blasted off like a missile, tearing across the lake. Moments later, he collapsed, gasping for air. Lost in a random forest, sweating and dizzy. This physics makes no sense. Momentum equals mass times velocity. My body can barely handle this strain. He wiped his sweat and froze. He peeked through the trees. The wind hit his face, and the view looked way too familiar. Don't tell me. He looked down at the Seoul skyline from the peak. He was on Mount Gwanak. Ran from SH Hospital to this mountain in literally 1 step. Checking my phone. SS speed update. Mastery at 0.1%. Bruh. My face is literally stuck like this. What kind of insane speed is this? HG skill is basically a cheat code. What happens if this mastery actually goes up? Am I going to get even faster? Or will I actually be able to control this terrifying power? Phone's in the pocket. Let's not die today. I got a sister to feed. I guess grinding mastery is the only way to find out the truth. Gotta stop redlining it. I've been lucky so far. Just imagining hitting a skyscraper and turning it into a massive fireball is enough to give me nightmares. Cold sweat is real. If I slam into a building, it's not just my head that's getting wrecked. That building would be straight up deleted. Seoul real estate is crazy expensive, so where would I even get the cash? Better go practice this speed in a dungeon instead. Time to handle the hospital discharge. Suddenly, the scene shifts to a wasteland. Black monsters are screeching on the cliffs while some hunter is just standing there snapping photos like a total tourist. Zoom in on this black dog monster. Razor-sharp teeth, total nightmare fuel. This is a B+ rank shadowhound from the spirit realm. Red-haired kid with a pro camera is yapping away, recording data on these B+ rank shadowhounds. These things invaded Earth back in the day. Now, the whole bloodthirsty pack is lunging off the cliff straight at our 2 heroes. Kid is losing it, screaming for help. But right in the middle of the chaos, with death claws flying everywhere, Siu is just vibing like it's a walk in the park. The filming kid is sweating buckets, looking pale. He's thinking that even if it's the boss, there's no way he can outrun the subsonic speed of those shadowhounds. But when the beast strikes, Siu catches it by the throat with one hand. The monster is snarling right in his face, showing off its gross red mouth. Too bad for him. That speed looks like a slow-motion movie now. Siu just snaps its neck and tosses it aside. Witnessing this impossible feat, the kid's jaw literally hits the floor. All he can manage to say is a confused, "What?" Siu's eyes glow with a sharp blue light, straight up divine energy. He slams that hound's head into the dirt, triggering a massive blue explosion that completely deletes the beast in an instant. The professional camera nearly falls from the kid's hands. He's completely shook by this insane superhuman display. What in the actual hell was that? Is the boss actually faster than subsonic speed? Before the kid's brain can even process the facts, Siu turns into a bolt of blue lightning. He's just a blur of fatal hits, wiping out the entire pack of shadowhounds in the blink of an eye. Dust clears to reveal a literal graveyard of monsters. Siu just brushes his hands off like he just finished some boring house chores. After that quick warm-up, he turns around with a cocky grin, spreads his arms and asks like a pro YouTuber, "Yo, you get all that?" New chapter. Siu is staring at his phone, grinning like a villain. System says SS Super Speed Mastery is up to 0.38%. He mutters to himself about the progress, remembering how he just absolutely clapped those monsters a second ago. He starts laughing. Both my speed and my control are leveling up. I was already fast, but now I'm becoming a literal god? Look at that shady smile. He's thinking if he masters this, he'll even gap Heckwin. But anyway, reality check time. Siu scratches his head, looking super awkward. What do we do with this? The camera kid is bowing so low his head hits the floor. "I'm sorry, boss." Siu stares at the high-end camera screen, looking depressed. No amount of editing is going to save this trash footage. The video is just a bunch of blurry streaks zipping around. Siu sighs deeply. Is Jizun really way too slow to track my movements with his own eyes? I gotta keep grinding mastery, so I can't just slow down for the sake of a viral video. Seeing Zizun literally crying in the back, the boss just sighs. Guess I'll have to start training this kid myself. He's an A+ rank hunter, so I can definitely polish him up to keep pace. There's that signature smile again. Zijun is about to have a very bad time. Siu remembers Heckwin's words. If you want results, you gotta push through the pain. He'll learn if I keep him working. Time to plan. Where should I start? Suddenly, his phone starts buzzing. He looks at the screen, confused. An unknown number? Who's this? Message pops up. Hello, this is Park Region, chairman of SH Construction. I got your number from director Han Mina. Just wanted to say the building materials you wanted are ready. Siu is vibrating with joy. SH Group is the GOAT. They actually got everything? Our guy is glowing with hype. He grips his phone and shouts, "Finally, time to build the dream house." Wait, hold up for a second. The chibi version of Siu is confused. Did I actually give her my phone digits? I only remember taking hers. Maybe she asked Hans Tren? Anyway, we're at the site now with Chairman Park. Whoa, you really got it all. The chairman replies. Director Han Mina made a special request, so I pulled these from our private storage. Siu is shocked. From storage? Chairman Park just breaks down the capitalist grind set. Even if we don't need them yet, we keep materials ready so we can build instantly. Siu laughs. No wonder you guys are so fast. The chairman raises an eyebrow. I heard you're trying to build a house using nothing but monster scraps. Is that right? Our guy just grins and nods. Yup, that is the plan. The veteran builder starts lecturing him. Using monster parts makes things durable, but strength isn't the only thing you need to build a real home. Siu just stays cool. If it doesn't work out, I'll just try something else. Hearing that, Chairman Park nearly jumped out of his skin. His face scrunched up as he screamed internally, "Does this kid have any idea how insanely expensive these materials are, or is he just talking total nonsense?" The old man's veins popped as his face turned a sour shade of gray. Getting these materials processed was such a massive pain that he actually felt proud just for pulling it off. He used to be so confident that no construction job was too tough to handle. But looking at the way this guy inspects the materials, I would bet my life this kid has zero experience in the building industry. He is totally clueless. Park flashed back to the image of that powerhouse woman in her work gear and sighed. When it comes to this stuff, Director Han Mina really is on a whole different level of awesome. Even though she did not have to, She insisted on learning the dirty work on site. She actually took pride in the smell of wet cement on her skin, proving it by getting down in the mud and doing the heavy lifting herself. Snapping back to reality, he asks you, "Look, have you ever actually tried building anything in your life?" The kid just looked back at him, cool as a cucumber, and gave his answer. "This is my first time. Well, I have crafted my own gear before. Guys, cover your ears, because Park is about to lose it." His eyes bugged out like a volcano ready to blow its top. Architecture is not just about swinging a hammer and banging on things like some piece of equipment. It is a true art form dedicated to creating the perfect living environment, blending engineering, sociology, and even the deep study of the humanities into one single craft. Helplessly clutching his head and pulling his hair, the old man just wanted to scream at the top of his lungs. Yet here is this brat, showing up out of nowhere, claiming he wants to build an entire skyscraper with nothing but a single hammer. Man, I wish I could just roast him right to his face to vent some of this frustration. His anger peaked, but then he remembered his female boss's smile and just rubbed his temples. This kid is Meng Xiu. I have no clue how he knows director Han Mina, but she was practically begging me to help him build this house. It is totally baffling. He figured she did not just want him to supply the materials. She probably wanted him to mentor this kid and teach him everything there is to know about the construction business from the ground up. Calm now. He tilted his chin and asked Xiu seriously, "So, did you even draw up a blueprint?" The guy just tapped his temple and replied with total confidence, "Yeah, I have got the gist of it up here." Park pressed on, asking if he had even checked out what kind of land he was building on. Xiu just shrugged it off, saying he pretty much had that part figured out as well. Hearing the words pretty much made the expert freeze. He squared his shoulders and launched into a fiery lecture. Architecture is never something you just wing. To design a building, you have to be precise and professional. First, you have to analyze the soil where the structure will stand, using core principles from civil engineering. You cannot just build on top of whatever dirt you find out there. The old man facepalmed and kept lecturing about human psychology, explaining how the vibe of a place affects beauty and comfort. Every inch has to match the purpose and function of the space, or the whole thing is just a waste of time. At the end of the day, no matter how pretty it looks, it is useless if the people inside are miserable. Park got more hyped as he spoke, waving his arms around like a conductor leading a massive dramatic symphony of construction wisdom. Ultimately, the design process has to account for philosophy, psychology, and the actual perception of the residents living there. You are building for real humans, not just stacking bricks for no reason. Finally, he shouted with eyes full of professional passion, standing tall and proud. By blending technology and engineering into a paper blueprint, you create something that can actually stand the test of time in the real world. A whole series of complex processes kicks off to eliminate the impossible and turn wild ideas into a real physical building. Park dropped the mic with one passionate line. Architecture is the ultimate peak where every single discipline developed by humanity finally comes together in one place. Cold sweat beaded on his forehead as Xiu awkwardly admitted that maybe he had taken this whole building thing a little too lightly. Yeah, he was definitely feeling the pressure now. Seeing the kid show some respect, the old man softened his tone and asked, "Didn't you say you already drew up a blueprint?" Xiu scratched the back of his neck, acting all shy as he mumbled a yes. Park reached out, telling him to hand it over so he could take a look. Xiu carefully handed him a rolled-up sheet of blue paper. "Thanks, kid," the old man muttered as he took it. Unrolling the drawing, the old man let out a smirk with that classic veteran ego. He mocked him silently, thinking it was obvious what a total amateur's blueprint would look like. He expected a mess of scribbles that made no sense at all. But guess what happened next? As soon as his eyes hit the paper, Chairman Park's jaw practically hit the floor. His eyeballs were about to pop right out of his skull from sheer shock. Drenched in sweat, he screamed, "What on earth is this? How could you possibly draw something this insanely complex?" His hands shook like leaves as he stuttered in total disbelief. "There is no way. This has to be some kind of crazy joke or a miracle. I have been in the construction industry for decades, but I have never, ever seen a blueprint more perfect than this one. It is absolutely flawless and beyond anything I could imagine. This is a wait of the where, sir. Where the hunnery sangya, where the hunter of late, a peak fusion of all knowledge." Still dazed, the old man turned to him and asked, "Wait, didn't you say you were just some kind of hunter? How does a hunter do this?" Our hero flashed a confident grin and pointed at himself. "Oh, I also run a YouTube channel." Park looked confused and asked, "YouTube? Is it a channel about building stuff or architecture?" Siu just shrugged and said, "Nope, it is a hunter channel." Hearing that short, blunt answer made the old man's face turn dark again. He squeezed his eyes shut and tried to calm his racing heart. Right, a blueprint is just a blueprint. It is just a drawing of whatever he imagined in his head. Shaking off the shock, the old man pointed toward the construction site and regained his composure. He barked out an order to start building immediately. Turning imagination into reality is a whole different ballgame. I bet his actual skills on the field are going to be super sloppy and amateurish. Just you wait and see. All right, I am smashing it now, Siu's voice rang out. He had already climbed onto a massive concrete block without anyone noticing, raising his hand as power surged through his arm, ready to strike. Instantly, a devastating blow crashed down, causing a massive explosion. Debris and materials flew everywhere in a thick cloud of dust, making it look like a bomb had just gone off right in the middle of the site. As the dust cleared, Siu landed as light as a feather. He casually dusted off his hands and let out a sigh of relief like it was no big deal at all. Meanwhile, Park stumbled back, eyes wide and jaw hanging open. His face was a total blank. Who am I, and where am I? He kept wondering, since when could an entire building be demolished with nothing but a single punch? This is insane. Before the old man could even process it, Siu casually hoisted a gigantic chunk of material onto his shoulder. The construction boss went into full panic mode and started screaming his head off in terror. Is that even something a human being is supposed to be able to lift? As he stared at the massive steel weight, something suddenly clicked in his mind. Oh, that is right. I remember now. The god Hephaestus told me I have to dig the ground first. Siu wound up and lifted his leg high. A glowing blue dragon energy swirled around his foot, growling with hunger before he slammed it down into the earth. A massive explosion ripped through the area, splitting the ground wide open. A blinding blue light swept everything away, leaving nothing but a giant, deep crater behind where the earth used to be. Park's eyes twitched uncontrollably as sweat poured down his face. He swallowed hard and mumbled that whoever told the kid to dig definitely didn't mean for him to completely obliterate the entire foundation of the earth like that. The boss screamed as his face turned pale, looking like his soul was leaving his body. I know hunters have crazy powers, but is that really the kind of force a human should be able to unleash? It is terrifying. Totally ignoring the old man's frozen expression, Siu turned around with a proud, charming smile. All done. Now that we have finished digging the foundation, we can finally move on to the next step of the project. With that, the guy swung his arm and launched a massive steel beam straight into the sky. It cut through the air, creating a perfect and beautiful arc as it soared through the clouds. Siu is dancing mid-air, throwing punches. The chairman starts sweating bullets, backing away while muttering that he should probably head home. Just then, our buff ginger June charges onto the massive construction site looking hyped as hell. Yo boss, I am here to help, he bellows from afar. June, can you move that pile of junk for me? No sweat, boss. June smirks, rolls up his sleeves, and grabs a massive metal block with one hand. He tries to lift it, but suddenly stops, looking totally confused. His grin vanishes, sweat pours down his face, and he grits his teeth in disbelief. This thing will not even budge. Ego bruised, he goes beast mode. Eyes red and veins popping, he screams, pulling with everything he has got. All right, let us see who wins this, you piece of junk. He pushes too hard. Those loosely stacked steel beams start creaking and shaking like crazy. Suddenly, a mountain of scrap metal collapses, burying him alive. Siu rushes over, climbs the pile, and peers down. What happened? Seeing only a single leg poking out of the wreckage, the oblivious older brother asks, "Why are you just lying down there?" Meanwhile, Gijun's desperate screams echo through the site. Siu sighs, thinking to himself, seriously, how can a rank B hunter be this weak and fragile? I think you need to hit the gym more. As the screaming continues, Siu crouches down to check on his buried sidekick. He asks, "You hurt? Let me see." His eyes narrow as he checks the damage. Was that pile a bit too heavy? From his shoulder to his ribs, his whole right side is basically pulverized. But Siu just stands up and brushes it off. Look, it is not even a big deal. Just use your super regeneration and stop being a drama queen. The poor kid screams back, I cannot. I can heal, but I still feel the pain. I think I need a hospital, boss. Siu just stares coldly. A hospital? For what? Just heal yourself. Gijun sobs. I cannot do it while my bones are all out of place. Siu immediately jams an acupuncture needle into a pressure point. Really? You should have said something. Better now? Jun, body glows bright green, and he looks up, stunned. Now you can heal. He stammers, Whoa, boss, how did you do that? Siu explains like a pro doctor, Your body was misaligned, so your energy veins were blocked. I just cleared the path. The kid repeats, energy veins? What? Yeah, something like that. Siu starts walking away, waving a hand. I am gonna go build the house. But then, a system notification pings, and he stops, looking back at Ji-jun with a devious grin. Hey, Ji-jun, hang on. You do not mind breaking a few more bones, right? The kid starts sweating, totally confused. Since we are already here, I am gonna make you stronger. Who knows when you will get another chance for a personal lesson from me. You might want to turn down your volume, guys, because right now Siu is grinning like a total psycho with all his teeth showing. His eyes glow like a total demon as his divine medical skills level up. Trust me, I am doing this for your own good. Right after that, a scream echoes all the way up to the sky. While the boss laughs, all you hear is the sound of someone dying, a massive scream, then a muffled choking sound. Yep, Ji-jun is crushed by steel again, gasping for air. Boss, please, help me. Siu just looks down and comments casually. Oh, only your right arm got flattened this time? He reaches out with a fake, helpful face. I bet I can make it hurt less. The kid is crying a river, thinking he is dead. Another magic needle hits, and Gi-jun gasps. He is still crying, but his body is healing fast. He says, I do not feel like I am helping you at all, boss. Siu replies vaguely. You are helping, and you are getting better. Sitting on a steel beam, Siu continues the gaslighting. Look at you. You could not even lift one beam before, but now you are holding two. Gullible Gi-jun nods along. You are right, boss. For some reason, I feel like I am getting stronger every time you treat me. Siu smirks, thinking the kid is a bit slow, but he is definitely growing. He watches Gi-jun his muscular back as he keeps moving all those heavy materials. Siu nods in approval. He learns differently than Charon, but I am glad he is picking up Tai Chi. Then he thinks, even though I am still busy training Charon, Tai Chi SS is a power you cannot learn even with S-rank talent. It is basically impossible for an A-ranker like Gi-jun, and yet it is actually working. He smirks. Using his needles on Gi-jun is regeneration. I can force the Tai Chi power into his body by using divine medicine to fix him every time I break his limbs. It is lucky he can heal so fast. The buff hunter happily carries two massive, oversized, and heavy steel beams now. Siu keeps thinking, they say if your body is not healthy, your mind starts to suffer too. But Gi-jun hit rank B+ without even realizing how much he has grown. Checking his phone, the boss chuckles with zero guilt. The kid does not have a clue. Plus, I have managed to level up my divine medical skill to a whole new level. His skill hits 45.81%. He really hopes that at this level, he can finally fix Zio's condition for good. He plans for his little sister, deciding to brew a new herbal medicine. No, he will make sure she actually drinks it himself. Suddenly, that familiar screaming ruins his daydreaming again. Our hero looks at his phone, asking the god Hephaestus, are you sure you called this a warm environment? They stand before a massive 4-story mansion, looking all modern and super luxurious. June stares in shock. Whoa, boss, did you really build this whole place? Siu is proud. You saw it yourself, did not you? The kid stammers, I did, but I still cannot believe it. The system pings, divine alchemy up 11.44%. Siu's jaw dropped in shock. My mastery level shot up this much in just one go? His eyes gleamed with that grind or die energy. Maybe I should boost mastery by building houses? I will just smash them and rebuild until I hit 100%. Then reality hit. Siu wiped away the sweat and killed that thought. Forget it. Building this house was brutal. Grinding for those materials again is just out of the question right now. Ji-jun asked excitedly from beside him, Boss, you gonna throw a housewarming party or what? Boss repeated, housewarming? The kid balled his fists. Duh, you finished the house, so a party is mandatory. Siu stroked his chin, thinking it over. Yeah, I guess you are right. I should invite the real ones. People who actually helped me build this place. Siu grinned and pointed at his loyal underling. All right, kid, what you are saying actually makes total sense. So, Ji-jun? The kid piped up. When is the big bash? Siu put a hand to his mouth, doing the math. I have still got prep to do. Let us say in 3 days. Before his boss could say another word, Ji-jun gave a quick salute and bolted. See you in 3 days then, boss. I am gonna go tell my sister, Siu shouted after him. Wait, you are leaving already? He reached out, trying to stop the poor kid. At least let me buy you a meal first. Ji-jun just kept sprinting like a ghost was chasing him, yelling back, I am good, just have plenty of fire food ready for the party day. Watching his underling run like an Olympic sprinter, Siu laughed, half annoyed and half amused. How is that kid so fast? Does he think I am going to work him to death again? Siu looked up at his massive new mansion. He wondered, who should I invite? It is not like they will show up just because I ask. Cut to the SH Group headquarters. The office door slowly creaked open. Director? It is me. Park Jae-jin. A woman's voice came from inside. Enter. Director Han Mina sat regally at her desk, smiling. So, how is the construction on that house going? Did it go smoothly? Mr. Park walked in looking like a ghost, sweating like crazy and voice trembling. About that, regarding the construction work, everything is already finished. Director Han's eyes went wide. What? It is done? The old man tiredly admitted the insane reality. Yeah, it is really finished. Truth is, he did not even need our help from SH Construction. Han Mina sighed, leaning back in her chair. What the hell? You are saying the house is finished? Did you not tell me work just started 3 days ago? Mr. Park's haunted eyes stared blankly. Well, he was just lifting steel beams with his bare hands. Struggling for words, the old man gestured wildly. He was basically flying through the air, crushing the hard ground like it was soft tofu or something. Han Mina was totally speechless. What on earth are you even talking about? Mr. Park just bowed, completely defeated by the protagonist's sheer absurdity. Actually, I do not even know myself. Han Mina. The director's mouth twitched, her face a mix of curiosity and confusion. What did he see? Back at the mansion, Siu stood with his hands on his hips. You like it?